The Largest Dinosaurs by Seymour Simon, illustrated by Pamela Carroll. Introduction. Some dinosaurs were giants. These giant dinosaurs weighed more than a heavy cement truck. They were longer than your school lunchroom. They were taller than an apple tree. The largest of all the dinosaurs belonged to a family named sauropods, which means lizard feet. They were given that name because their feet looked the way lizards' feet do today. There were other large dinosaurs, but none were as large as some of the sauropods. A sauropod's body was very large. Each of its 4 legs was as thick as a tree trunk. Its leg bones were very strong and heavy, but its backbones were hollow and very light in weight. Sauropods had small heads and long necks and tails. With their long necks, they could raise their heads high above the ground. Some of these giant dinosaurs had heads smaller than a horse's and brains no larger than a kitten's. Sauropods had small brains for such large bodies. All sauropods ate plants. They did not eat other animals. Sauropods lived for millions of years in North America, Africa, and China. This book is about these large dinosaurs. It tells how they lived in their surroundings and how they used their size to survive. How sauropods lived. Scientists are not exactly sure how sauropods lived. That's because no one has ever seen a real sauropod. The last sauropods died many years before people lived on Earth. But the sauropods left clues to what they were like. Some of the clues are fossils. Bones that changed to rock are called fossils. Other clues are tracks in mud that hardened into rock. Scientists have also found hardened sauropod eggs and nests. Scientists look closely at the clues they find. They think about the clues and form ideas about the way these dinosaurs looked and lived. Sometimes they change their ideas. At one time, scientists believed sauropods lived in shallow water in lakes. They thought the water helped support the weight of their heavy bodies. But now scientists believe that sauropods lived mostly on dry land. The sauropods probably used their long necks to reach tender leaves high up on trees. Some sauropods had only a few weak teeth to chew the leaves. They swallowed the leaves nearly whole. The sauropods also swallowed rough stones about the size of your fist. The stones are called gastroliths. The stones rubbed against the leaves in a sauropod's stomach. The leaves were ground to a small size. The stones helped the sauropods to digest their food. In time, the stones were ground smooth. Scientists have found thousands of these stones mixed with dinosaur fossils. The giant sauropods were big eaters. They ate all the leaves off nearby trees. Then they looked for more food. Their tracks show that the sauropods moved in herds. The herds moved across the land covered by tall trees. The tracks also show that the young sauropods traveled in the middle of the herds, where they were protected from danger. Sauropods were dinosaurs, and all dinosaurs hatch from eggs. But some scientists think that sauropods may have been born alive, from eggs that were kept within the mother's body. The young sauropods may have moved with the herds from birth. The 6 sauropods in this book are just a few of the many kinds whose fossil bones have been found. These 6 were chosen because they are among the biggest and best known. Many of the other sauropods were much the same as the ones in this book, but some may have lived differently. Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus is a familiar-looking dinosaur with an unfamiliar name. Its name means deceptive lizard. You probably know this dinosaur by another name. It is also called Brontosaurus, which means thunder lizard. It was called that because of the way it was supposed to make the ground shake as it walked. Apatosaurus was about 70 feet long and weighed 35 tons. That's longer than a big bus and as heavy as 20 cars. Skeletons of Apatosaurus are in several museums in the United States, but until a few years ago, the museums had the wrong skull on display. It belonged to a different kind of dinosaur. Many books and pictures still show the wrong shape. It was not until 1979 that a true Apatosaurus skull was found. The shape of the true skull was much different from the other one on the museum's skeletons. Apatosaurus really had a flat head, about as large as a horse's, with a long snout. The head was small for its body. It had small, pencil-like teeth at the front of its jaws. It ate leaves and tender shoots from the tops of tall evergreen trees. Apatosaurus had a 20-foot-long neck and an even longer tail. Each of its legs looked like an elephant's, round and sturdy. Apatosaurus had large eyes and could probably see, hear, and smell very well. These sharp senses helped it to find food and avoid dangerous animals. Large meat-eating dinosaurs hunted Apatosaurus. For defense, Apatosaurus relied on its size, its thick skin, and its tail, with which it lashed out at attackers. Apatosaurus probably also traveled in herds for protection. Apatosaurus probably spent most of the time on land, but sometimes waded in rivers and